back in 1998, I legalized absinthe for the market as you see it today. So basically, I returned the distilling of absinthe to France with Lafay Parisian. This is distilled in the Rhone Alps. It's 8 distillations, separately distilled. We blend the recipe, and then there's a maceration process that brings in the natural colour and this final taste profile. We then send a courier to the French Absinthe Museum with a sample and to myself, and then Marie-Claude Delahaye will check the product. She's the owner and curator of the French Absinthe Museum, and she will test the product, and if she's happy with it, we'll authorise it to be bottled. We'll then go to Paris, we bottle in Paris, and then we export to 26 different countries. It's all natural, it's vegan. If you want a pre-ban absinthe, that's what's in the bottle. And the recipe's coming from the museum, so you know that's authentic, and that's the true status of it. This is the product that was first also registered as an absinthe in America. It was registered as a trademark, including absinthe, in the year 2000, 7 years before absinthe was returned to the States.
Oh, wow, okay.
So there's quite a lot going on here.
Yeah.
So I legalized the category. It was done with this. I'll give you a sample. That bottle's empty, so I'm going to take one of these. These are actually, I've got to find one with some liquid in it. Here we go. So this is fairly unique. So I developed this over lockdown, and I've created this to go front of bar or for home bar use. So the first thing about it is, if it goes front of bar next to Angostura bitters or Peychards, you need a sort of, it's already pre-packed. So if you watch this, if I take this cap off, the top will show an auto pourer. So as I take that off, you see that? So that pops up and down, and what that allows is it allows the barman or bar person to do a small amount or an ounce or more if it's needed. So that's a very easy way. It's a natural all green product. And that's with this bottle. So if you want to try that, take a little sip. It's 136 proof. So it's really high ABV.
Okay.
You normally don't drink it neat. Mm-hmm. So have a little sip and then we'll add some water to it. But it normally goes into cocktails.
Yeah, that is strong. And I barely took like a drop. Okay.
Yeah,
like,
he says you're gonna do it. You're
like,
gonna do it.
Yeah, like do not like just go slow.
It's going in. So it's beet neutral spirit. It's a very clean spirit base. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the classic serve. So you put the glass there. I'm going to add a little bit more of the Lafay. Then you take the absinthe spoon, that goes on there, and then we place the sugar lump on there, and then literally we drip the ice water through the sugar. And that will dissolve the sugar, and in the process, we dissolve the sugar, and then the absinthe will start to loosh. And the reason you're adding the water is you're changing it to the weight of wine. So this is now a drink you can drink. And New Orleans is the home of absinthe outside of in America, outside of France. And the first ever cocktail created is a Sazerac. That was created here in America. First ingredient that goes into that cocktail is absinthe. And if we zoom back down here, we can see the colour change is happening. So I can now turn that off. I can drop the spoon in, give it a little stir. And if you go down to the old Absinthe house in New Orleans, you can drink Lafay there because they serve it. So if you want to try that now diluted with sugar, it changes it completely.
Yeah, big change. What was once like very strong and like if you put a little at your lips, like you can feel it, like it's heavily diluted. but you still get the flavor. But it's muted in a way so that it's approachable.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a big difference. That's a big change.
Now this is mainly used in cocktails. So the biggest use for any absinthe is cocktails. So your classic absinthe sours, all sorts of things. Now probably the best cocktail you could drink or try is a French mojito. That's French mojito. If you go to frenchmojito.com, it'll show you how to make it. The other thing is education. So what I did is I created the world's first ever cocktail book label. So if you peel this off, here, like so, that will then release this book here. And it's 12 pages of information. That's a French mojito. It shows you how to make all these different drinks. That's a reverse gin and tonic, only with absinthe. And then it also comes on to what's in the product, all the ingredients, how to make a classic absinthe, there are all the pictures. Who used to historically drink absinthe? Oscar Wilde, Toulouse-Lautrec, Monet, all these different famous people were drinkers of absinthe pre-ban. Then we've got why absinthe became so popular. So the French military were given it as a standard ration against things like malaria and dysentery because it would cleanse the water. So it's basically a cure-all, a medicinal product. And then we get why it was banned in the US, France and Switzerland, so that's explained. And then the last page is how Marie-Claude Delahaye and myself brought back the category back in 1998 through to 2000. And that was done with Lafay. And Lafay was the first brand of absinthe to ever be registered as an absinthe in America. That was done as a trademark in the year 2000. And it became legal in America in the year 2007. Now, one interesting point is in America to this day, the TTB does not recognize the category of absinthe. So internationally, this is an international product that technically is illegal in America, and the reason is it's called absinthe. Whereas every other product that you have to sell in America, you must put a second word after it. Doesn't matter what that is, but they just don't want the word absinthe on its own. So this is Absinthe Superior. It could be Absinthe Vert. It could be Absinthe Bohemian. But basically you need to have a secondary word, the same font and text size, but no bigger than the brand name. And this is Lafay. And the old nickname for absinthe is Lafay Vert. I own that from '98. It was awarded to me because they said no one has used it for 80 years. So we removed the word Vert and we called the brand Lafay. And this is Lafay, which means the fairy, which is basically absinthe. And there it is, the green fairy, Lafay Vert.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Cool. Wow, I learned so much about absinthe.
Yeah.